Dr. Katie Rose here, and I wanted to give you an overview of what it looks like to work with me one on one if you are an Arizona resident. So, because I am licensed as a physician in Arizona, we can establish a patient to physician relationship. I can make a diagnosis, order labs, write prescriptions if necessary. And what this looks like for people who are trying to get pregnant or on the fertility journey, my role is essentially helping you do a deep dive into where you need the most support on this journey. And that's going to look a little bit different for everyone. My experience really runs the gamut of why someone might be struggling with fertility. So, everything from fibroids, PCOS, endometriosis, to antiphospholipid syndrome, recurrent pregnancy loss, Hashimoto's, and that's just to name like the ones that I can think of off the top of my head. Um, and some people might be trying to conceive naturally. Some people are coming with the hopes of going through IVF and trying to optimize their IVF outcomes. And I do have experience with both and feel really comfortable in both scenarios and supporting people. Usually, in these one to one consultations, we are doing a deep dive. So, we are doing an intake in which you will probably be asked questions that no one has asked you before. We're spending at least an hour in consultation talking about your health history, your family health history, your partner's pertinent health history. If you have any previous records or labs, we would review those as well. And then we would decide what further testing might need to be done and create an initial plan to have you maybe tracking symptoms, tracking your cycle, learning the fertility awareness method while we're gathering that information, while we're getting the lab work that I need to dig in and see what needs to be supported. If there's anything underlying that we need to be investigating too. So, some of the most common subtle things that I see being really overlooked by Western medicine are thyroid issues, inflammation, blood sugar issues, and nutrient deficiencies. So, those are often areas that we're digging into where people maybe haven't had looked at before. And once we have that information back, we'll follow up to review this together and create even more specific of a plan together. And I really want to emphasize this together part of things because you are the most important part of the treatment plan. You drive this train. Yes, I have the training, I have a certain expertise, but you are the expert in your own body and your experience. So we are co-creators of this treatment plan together, and we decide what's going to be sustainable for you to be able to carry this through your journey. I typically will request that we work together for at least 3 months because this is where the magic happens. If we're working with someone who has ovaries and those ovaries contain all the eggs you will ever have for your entire life. You were born with all of those eggs, but they're arrested in development when they start to start to mature again. We see a cohort start to mature and needs about 3 months to complete that process. And so that 3 months is when they're most vulnerable to oxidation and stress and inflammation. And we have the most opportunity to support them and support egg quality and adjust the hormone levels and how your body responds to hormones. So that 3 months is really, really important. That's really the minimum that it takes to start to see changes in a cycle that are significant and improve outcomes for fertility. So I prefer to work with people within that window, knowing that this is the minimum because our bodies are really magical in how they respond, but we need time. This isn't this isn't a quick fix type of program. This is get to the root cause, create sustainable changes, and get people in a much healthier situation leading into a pregnancy. So that's a little overview of what to expect. If you have other questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I do offer 3-month packages, and we do have some monthly options as well, but expect to be working together about 3 months and checking in usually about once or twice per cycle within that. So, about every 3 weeks or so for that 3 months is the ideal in my experience doing this for the last 8 years. Sometimes we will need to get partners involved. We at the very least need to have a recent semen analysis. And if there's any issue there, I do encourage partners to get further lab workup as well, and physical exam just to make sure there's no anomalies there that might affect sperm quality. So let me know if you have any other questions about how I work with people in Arizona. I initially will usually work with people virtually. I do have some offerings in person at Nature Medica in Tucson currently. And in the future, we'll probably have more in person opportunities. But my virtual consultations extend to anyone who is an Arizona resident. Thank you.